1 Samuel chapter 27 verse 8. And David and his men went up and invaded the Geshurites and the Jezreites and the Amalekites, for those nations were of old the inhabitants of the land, as thou goest to Shur, even unto the land of Egypt. And David smote the land, and left neither man nor woman alive, and took away the sheep, and the oxen, and the asses, and the camels, and the apparel, and returned and came to Achish. Right. Unlike Saul, King David obeyed the commandment of the Heavenly Father, and that is to blot out the remembrance of Amalek for what they have done to us in Rephidim. They attacked us while we were on our way to the promised land. They attacked us while we were weak and in anguish of spirit. And the Most High commanded Moses to write what they have done to us in the book for a memorial. What they have done led to the Most High having war with Amalek from generation to generation. First Samuel chapter 30 verse 1. And it came to pass when David and his men were come to Ziklag on the third day, that the Amalekites had invaded the south and Ziklag, and smitten Ziklag, and burnt it with fire, and had taken the women captives that were therein. They slew not any, either great or small, but carried them away and went on their way. Now the Amalekites retaliated. The Amalekites invaded the south in Ziklag, smitten Ziklag, and burnt it with fire. And they took our women as slaves. So David and his men came to the city, and behold, it was burnt with fire, and their wives and their sons and their daughters were taken captives. So not only were our women taken as captives, but our sons and daughters as well. Then David and the people that were with him lifted up their voice and wept until they had no more power to weep. And David's two wives were taken captives, Ahinoam the Jezreelitess, and Abigail, the wife of Nabal the Carmelite. And David was greatly distressed, for the people spake of stoning him, because the soul of all the people was grieved, every man for his sons and for his daughters. But David encouraged himself in the Lord Yahweh his God. Right? So now the people of Israel wanted to stone David because they felt like it's David's fault. It was David's fault that their wives, their sons, and their daughters were taken captive by the Amalekites. Again, the Amalekites retaliated based off what King David and his men did in 1 Samuel, the 27th chapter. So the people of Israel felt like it was David's fault that their family was taken captive under the Amalekites. And David said to Abiathar, the priest, or Abiathar, the priest, Ahimelech's son, I pray thee, bring me hither the ephod. And Abiathar brought thither the ephod to David. And David inquired at the Lord, saying, shall I pursue after this troop? Shall I overtake them? And he answered him, pursue, for thou shalt surely overtake them, and without fail recover all. Right? So David inquired of the Lord, meaning he asked of the Lord if he should retaliate and make a counterattack against the Amalekites. And when the children of Israel went to inquire of the Lord, they had to go through a prophet. As Moses said to Jethro that the children of Israel inquired of the Lord through him. When you wanted to receive answers from the Heavenly Father, you had to go through his messengers, the prophets. Because the Most High speak through his prophets. So David inquired of the Lord if he shall retaliate against the Amalekites and overtake them. And the Lord answered him, pursue, for thou shalt surely overtake them, and without fail recover all. So the Lord answered David and said, retaliate, pursue. The Lord said that David will overtake the Amalekites and recover all that the Amalekites have taken from King David and the people of Israel, which was their wives, sons, and daughters. So David went, he and 600 men that were with him, and came to the brook Besor, where those that were left behind stayed. But David pursued, he and 400 men, for 200 abode behind, which were so faint that they could not go over the brook Besor. And they found an Egyptian in the field and brought him to David and gave him bread, and he did eat. And they made him drink water, and they gave him a piece of cake, a cake of figs, and 2 clusters of raisins. And when he had eaten, his spirit came again to him, for he had eaten no bread nor drunk any water 3 days and 3 nights. And David said unto him, to whom belongest thou, and whence art thou? And he said, I am a young man of Egypt, servant to an Amalekite, and my master left me because 3 days agone I fell sick. We made an invasion upon the south of the Cherethites, and upon the coast which belonged to Judah, and upon the south of Caleb, and we burnt Ziklag with fire. And David said to him, canst thou bring me down to this company? And he said, swear unto me by Yahweh that thou wilt neither kill me nor deliver me into the hands of my master, and I will bring thee down to this company. Right, so King David and his men came across a young man in Egypt who was a servant to Amalek, and he was abandoned. And King David asked the young man of Egypt, will he take him and his men down to the company of Amalek? And the young man said, swear unto him by Yahweh that King David will neither kill him nor deliver him into the hands of Amalek, and he will bring him down to this company. And when he had brought him down, behold, they were spread abroad upon all the earth, eating and drinking and dancing, because of all the great spoil that they had taken out of the land of the Philistines and out of the land of Judah. Right, so the Amalekites were celebrating because of all the spoil that they taken out of the Philistines and out of the land of Judah. They have taken our wives, sons, and daughters as captives. And David smote them from the twilight even unto the evening of the next day, and there escaped not a man of them, save 400 young men, which rode upon camels and fled. So King David and his men made a counterattack against the Amalekites for what they have done. And David recovered all that the Amalekites have carried away, and David rescued his 2 wives. Right, so the Lord told King David that he will recover all that the Amalekites have taken. So King David recovered our wives, our sons, and our daughters from the hand of Amalek. And there was nothing lacking to them, neither small nor great, neither sons nor daughters, neither spoil, nor anything that they had taken to them. David recovered all. Right, so King David recovered all that the Amalekites have taken from Israel, wives, sons, and daughters. And David took all the flocks and the herds which they drave before those other cattle, and said, this is David's spoil. Right, so King David and his men captured the spoil of Amalek. They captured their flocks. They taken all the animals that belonged to Amalek, and said, this is David's spoil.